Welcome to another episode of Morbid Visions. I am Morbid, and this time we're going to talk about even more obscure releases. First video went over pretty well. People seem to like to hear about different type of stuff. So we're going to talk about some more obscure releases that don't quite get the attention as the major horror films. But definitely, all of these are definitely worth checking out, looking for, hunting down, and just, yeah, let's get on with it. First, The Call of Cthulhu, created by the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. Amazing organization. They create so much great content based on H.P. Lovecraft and H.P. Lovecraft's work. This is a short film. It's only 47 minutes long, but definitely worth it. They shot it as like a silent film, like an old silent film from the 20s, which is appropriate. Story I think was written, I can't remember when exactly when the Call of Cthulhu was written, but somewhere in the 20s or the 30s. And so this basically looks just like a movie that was made around then. Black and white, gritty. They even have the actors wearing like the extra makeup, the caked on makeup, and they have that vintage look to them. And it is a silent movie. All the dialogue is done like on title cards. They'll show the actors and then it'll show the words up on the screen. Done very well. They put a lot of effort into trying to make this look like a vintage film. And they did a really good job. It's very faithful to the actual story. I mean, it's a true adaptation of the Call of Cthulhu. And so yeah, definitely check this out if you can find it. I highly recommend it, especially if you're an H.P. Lovecraft fan. So they did a really cool job on it. Comes with a little like fake newspaper inlay in there, and this has full making of it, and some of the stuff they did, the sets they built was very impressive. It's very just inspiring. It's inspiring to see just how far they went to make this movie. But yeah, so if you can find it, definitely check this movie out. Next, we have a Shaw Brothers release. This is The Boxer's Omen. One of the most bizarre movies you'll ever see. This movie is so over the top, and just the way some of the Chinese films were done back in the 80s. The concepts they were doing, and you basically sit here and watch this movie and you're just like, what the hell? It's just such crazy visual after crazy visual. Story simple is basically about a boxer who gets injured during a fight, and his brother tries to help him. I guess there's a curse on the family after he loses the fight or something. So it's kind of hard to keep the story straight in your head once you start getting bombarded by the unbelievable amount of just craziness in this movie. I mean, it's even hard to explain, but there's one part during a ritual, a monk I think is trying to defend something, and all of a sudden just the whole floor is all these crocodile skulls, and they're all just covered chomp chomp chomp, and they're just crocodile skulls all coming at him, and he's got to fight them all off, and it's just stuff like that. Just another point is like these stop motion weird creatures with fuzzy heads, and they're just all slowly walking towards it. It's one of the movies where like great Asian films do. They just bring such bizarre concepts and visuals, but somehow they make it work, and it's a real treat to watch something like this, because you'll never see anything like this in America. And yeah, it's mind-blowing, some of the stuff you see in this. So, Boxer's Omen. Definitely try to seek this movie out. Very cool. Definitely worth your time. Alright, another bizarre movie. I haven't seen this in quite a while. I gotta check this out again. It's been a while since I've watched this. But, Subconscious Cruelty. Very bizarre film. I believe it's 4 or 5 short stories. Just dark, very dark movie. Just very Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just one of those films that's hard to describe. Lots of like metaphorical imagery. Uh yeah, I don't know. Some people maybe say poetic type looking stuff, but it's a horrific movie. Very graphic. There's some extremely graphic scenes in this, so you're definitely gonna get your shock value out of this movie. Uh, One of the short films is basically all these. I don't know if they're supposed to be naturists or what, but it's just all these people basically having sex with Mother Earth. Everyone's just out in a field doing their thing with the earth. Bizarre stuff. Um, the movie starts off with an effect. There's actually a makeup effect in here that fooled me when I first saw it, because they did a nice little touch. I'm not gonna say it. When you just watch it, you'll see it. And for a second, I was like, "How the hell did they just do that?" And then it wasn't until afterwards. I think the Suzuma one. I'm not sure how many different versions there were of this, but this is the one I got. This has the a long documentary on the making of the movie, and they show the making of the special effect, and I was just like, oh, that's really cool, and it's something that was stuck in my head. I'm like, it's a little touches sometimes that bring an effect to life, and I just didn't think of it as I was watching it, and it fooled me. But yeah, very cool movie. I'm not sure how this movie is, if this is even available anymore. I haven't heard about this movie in a long time, so it might be a little difficult to come across this. But if you can, definitely find it. Subconscious Cruelty. Very cool movie. Next, we have another. This is basically, we got three in a row here that's like really bizarre. This was put out by Unearthed Films. Hopefully you can see this. It's hard to see, I think. But Where the Dead Go to Die. This is an animated movie by Jimmy Screamer Claus, and I was blown away the first time I saw this movie. The visuals he creates and just the non-stop psychedelic type horrific nightmarish imagery that just keeps happening on screen. It's just this. I was very impressed with the imagery from this movie. The story revolves around some kids who all live on the same block, and they have very troubled lives, not very good lives at all, and they all become haunted by this talking dog named Labby, and he just basically keeps trying to convince them to do certain things, and brings them on journeys into other dimensions, and that's where the really bizarre stuff starts to happen. There's parts of there's some subject matter in here that might bother some people, but it just adds to the overall nastiness, and just it makes a movie that tries to make you feel uncomfortable, I would guess you could say. But yeah, it just the imagery and just the nightmarish imagery, the nightmares that like unfold on screen in this is just so cool how he did it. So yeah, if you can find it again, Where the Dead Go to Die, very cool movie. The animation, yep, some people might have to get used to it. It is a little crude, but you get used to it very quickly. And some of the dubbing is a little. Yeah, I've seen people bothered by the dubbing. The voice actors and stuff. I was fine with it. I thought it would work great. Ruby LaRocca, she actually signed this for me. From Bone Sickness, she does a voice. She does one of the voices for a character in here, and yeah, so definitely a cool movie. If you want to see something very dark and very different, check out Where the Dead Go to Die. Okay, next we have a VHS, because as far as I know, it's never been released even on DVD here in America. I think it got released maybe in Europe, but I've never come across the DVD online or anything. I haven't really looked hard, I'll be honest. But Hunter's Blood. Now, it's not a horror movie. I will admit it's not a horror film, but it's gritty. The situation is horrific, It's one of those movies where if you get caught in this situation, you just be like, oh crap, it's a very bad situation. It's basically about a father and son and friends who go on a weekend vacation on private land, and yeah, they go for a hunting trip. But once they're out there, they run into poachers, and just really like raw hillbilly type, just redneck poachers that just it's the type of people you wouldn't want to run into and have mad at you, I guess you could say. So it just starts off like a fun adventure movie, and then it just turns very bad, very dark, and it has some really good graphic gore in this movie. The violence is really up there, and done convincingly too. The movie stars Clu Gulager from Return of the Living Dead. He plays like a real badass in this movie, so fun character to watch. Another character in there, one of the poachers, is played by Billy Drago, who was the lead actor in Takashi Miike's Imprint for Masters of Horror. So you get a really good, solid cast in this movie. Very well acted, very well made movie. Some of the other poachers you'll recognize from like the 80s. A lot of different 80s character actors that would show up in all different type of productions and stuff. So very very fun movie, very entertaining, tense, suspenseful, and violent. I don't understand what happened to this movie. This movie deserves a very big like Blu-ray release with all special features. It would be a perfect release, like Shout Factory. Shout Factory, put this movie out. This movie is so damn good. I don't understand why this movie just faded away. So yeah, Hunter's Blood. Definitely check it out. And, oh well, check it out. I'm saying check it out as if you can just go and rent it or buy it or whatever. Hope maybe you could find the VHS, one of the VHS copies on eBay or whatever. Whenever this movie does get mentioned, I do notice I get a lot of feedback and a lot of reactions to this whenever this movie gets mentioned. So who knows what the VHS go for on eBay? I'm sure price gougers would get a hold of this movie and like, oh, $100, $200. Stupid. Okay. So there was 5 obscure releases that you should definitely check out. I'm going to do one more just for the hell of it because I saw it right next to Hunter's Blood. I'm like, we'll talk about this one too. Why not? Because I don't quite know where else to put this one because it's not a movie, but you all know the subject matter. Dario Argento's World of Horror. I got this, wow, I don't even remember when I got this actually, a long time ago. I think I might have ordered this again from the company I mentioned before, Fantaco in New York. Very cool documentary just on the work of Dario Argento. Lots of behind the scenes footage. I love this. I was obsessed with this tape when I first got it because it was recently after I had finally seen Tenebrae and Suspiria and Phenomena and all that. Really cool behind the scenes footage from all those movies. They show a large segment just on the non-stop camera crane shot from Tenebrae that goes over the apartment building. There's behind the scenes footage from Demons showing the special makeup effects from Demons. So yeah, lots of great stuff on this. Again, I haven't researched to see if you can even find this anymore. I don't know if it ever got released on DVD. Probably in Europe. Most likely there's probably a European release of this somewhere. I would imagine because Dario Argento is much more respected in Europe, where he's barely known in America, unfortunately. But yeah, Dario Argento's World of Horror. If you can find it, it's definitely worth a watch, especially if you're an Argento fan. Lots of cool stuff on this. Like I said, I loved this when I first got it, and I watched it over and over and over again. It was very inspirational for making movies. So yeah. So let's recap like we normally do. So from the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, The Call of Cthulhu, very well made, short, black and white silent film. Pure adaptation of The Call of Cthulhu. H.P. Lovecraft is always it seems like everyone has a hard time translating it into film, and a lot of people just never get it right. They got it perfect. This is perfect. The Boxer's Omen. Whacked out movie. Get this and just sit back and just try to take in everything that gets thrown at you, because there is so much that's going to get thrown at you. So much bizarre black magic, visual over the topness. So yeah, definitely check out Boxer's Omen. Subconscious Cruelty. Very dark, surreal. Surreal is a great word for this movie. Graphic, gory, nasty, short anthology film. Yeah. So yeah, definitely check out Subconscious Cruelty. Lots of bizarre stuff in this episode, and Where the Dead Go to Die is definitely one of the most bizarre probably in here. It is animated. It is to the animated film as Boxer's Omen is to just whacked out Asian films. Nightmarish, bizarre, over the top, nasty animation. Check it out. Hunter's Blood. Very cool 80s movie. Friends going on a hunting trip. Very much in the same vein as Deliverance. Same type of concept as Deliverance, except, I mean, most people probably say this is a ripoff of Deliverance. I'll have to admit, I find this much better than Deliverance. It's more entertaining, more exciting. It's just, I just find, I take this any day over Deliverance. But yeah, hopefully you can find it. If you can find it, get it. And then another one, hopefully you'll be able to find and track down, is a Dario Argento's World of Horror. Very cool documentary just on the works of Dario Argento. Tenebrae, Suspiria, Deep Red, Phenomena, Lamberto Bava's Demons. He was producer on that, so has a lot of stuff on that as well. So definitely, like I said, I have no clue how available this would even be, but if you can find it, check it out. Especially if you're an Argento fan, you definitely need to check this out. Okay, well there we go. That ended up being 6 obscure movies that you may never have heard of, maybe you didn't see, or you've heard of but you just weren't quite sure about. It's funny, actually, probably the most popular one on here maybe it would be Boxer's Omen. I know I see a lot of people talk about this movie online. So yeah, totally whacked out movie. I don't know why I keep saying that to describe that, but that just what keeps popping in my head. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a like, and please subscribe to More Vision Films, and we will keep delivering this type of content to you. All right, thank you.